Hello, good morning. Welcome to Forest Focus for whatever the opposite of an emergency podcast is. As the news is today, Nuno Espirito Santo has signed a new 3-year deal to remain as Nottingham Forest manager till 2028. So we shall discuss that, or I shall discuss that briefly, and a few other bits of news. There's been plenty of it actually since we last spoke in what's supposed to be a quiet summer, but it's certainly not for Nottingham Forest. We talked a lot about new contracts, and we'll talk a bit about them today. The Nuno one had kind of gone under the radar. I think his deal was supposed to expire at the end of this coming season. So great to see that he signed a new contract till 2028. It probably says a few things. I mean, interestingly, I know the owner has a reputation for being, hot-headed and impatient. And I think, to some degree, that's true because he's so demanding of success and he makes it pretty clear, in the way he goes about things. But equally, he has given managers actually when you think about it, and now he's giving Nuno more time. I suppose there was a small risk at the end of last season when things blew up to a degree that he could have blown up to a degree and got rid of the manager, but there's certainly been no prospect of that. New contract for Nuno. He gave Lamucci an extra life after that season really did blow up. I think he stuck with Steve Cooper as long as he possibly could as well. And now we've got Nuno being rewarded deservedly so with a new contract on the back of, the success of keeping us up in pretty tricky circumstances and then taking us to 7th in the Premier League. Obviously, we all wanted that Champions League place, but it wasn't to be. But the club is in a great place and Nuno's a big part of that. And, he's obviously happy to stay, happy to build on what he's achieved. And I would assume that he's, encouraged by the plans for next season in terms of squad building and everything that's going on with the Peter Taylor stand and the ground development and the whole direction of the football club. So this feels like another really positive development to have Nuno on board, a manager who's got European experience, don't forget, with Wolves. Consecutive 7th place finishes despite playing in Europe that second season when they did make the quarterfinals, I think, of was it still the UEFA Cup then? I think it was still the UEFA Cup. It might have been the Europa League. I'm not sure. Probably the Europa League, sorry. He did a great job there and he's done a great job here. So I think this is really positive news. So onwards and upwards under Nuno. A few other bits of news that have emerged over the last couple of days since we last did one of these on Thursday with Pete and Emily. John Percy with one of his excellent reports updating us on what's happening transfer wise. He's reported that Igor Jesus and Jair Cunha are effectively either close to agreeing or are Forest players or will be Forest players. Fabrizio Romano said the same thing. More doubts over Cuiabano, the left back, because Brighton are competing for him and Forest want him, but it's not a done deal. There are some doubts over Jair Cunha by the sound of it. A report from Brazil saying that he's not keen on joining and Forest to try and offer him a better salary and things like that. It's all a bit contradictory and it's only one source. So I'm not going to panic about that yet. I don't think it's the kind of thing you can hold against the club. I mean, if a player doesn't want to come, a player doesn't want to come. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. It'd be a big shame, though, to lose out on any of the Brazilian players, but certainly Igor Jesus primarily and Jair Cunha, who sounds like a big talent, played their part in the Club World Cup win for Botafogo over PSG. Igor Jesus, man of the match, getting another goal, second man of the match or superior player of the match, or whatever they're calling it, in that tournament, which is a bit strange. And Jair Cunha sounds like he had an excellent game against, obviously, a top team. I don't know what the performance levels are like in this tournament because I haven't been watching it because I think it's a bit ridiculous. It's been played, frankly, but it's certainly good for them to make their mark against PSG. And I really hope that they both come over to Forest and there's no hitches and no attempts to renegotiate fees and everything. But then, John Textor's in charge and there's no reason to think he could renegotiate anything successfully against Forest based on what we've seen. Speaking of that, that's great. Also, John Textor related. John Percy's piece in the Telegraph said that Danilo and Matt Turner are set to join Lyon as planned after these deals are sealed and they come over, the Botafogo lads. So another reason to hope that all comes off, because the net spend in that deal would be pretty fantastic for Forest, I think. So that's the transfer stuff. In terms of contracts, Neco Williams and Ola Aina look set to sign new contracts with Forest, according to John. So great news. Secure our fullbacks. Still think we need another two genuine fullback options now to compete with those guys. Now Toffolo, Moreno have gone. Eric da Silva Moreira, still not quite sure that he's ready, although Conference League might be beneficial to him. But if we had a chance to loan him out or something like that, or just be around next season, that'd be good. So 2 new fullbacks needed, but great news that Neco and Ola Aina looks set to sign, and I'll be very happy if they're our starting fullbacks again next season. I think Neco's only going to get better, and Ola Aina is probably in his peak years and an exceptional performer. The interesting thing from that piece was there was no mention of Callum Hudson-Odoi, which it makes me ever more concerned that unless there's a 1-year option to extend his deal, that things aren't really progressing. His contract ends next summer as well, and that leaves a real conundrum what to do with him if he's not going to sign, because we didn't sign him for a big fee, so we're not going to lose a huge amount from it in terms of the books and everything. So I suppose you could keep him and let him run his contract down in the hope you can persuade him to sign a new deal. I think I'd still be of the mind that anyone who's not signing a new contract, you could probably sell and then reinvest the money. But again, the problem with Callum is there's not going to be a huge amount of money to reinvest. So I really hope he signs a new contract if that isn't in the works. So really short update just to say what good news it is that Nuno is staying, and just go through that other transfer stuff. I don't think there's too much else. There wasn't too much on Morgan Gibbs White in there around his future. So hopefully he's staying. Anthony Langer seems pretty quiet on the Newcastle front. Their backstage recruitment team sounds like it's in a bit of a mess with the guy who's in charge of that leaving at the end of the month, but everyone knows he's going, and no one that seems to know who's really calling the shots there. So maybe that develops next month, but we'll wait and see. We don't need to sign anyone for PSR by the sound of it before the end of this month, certainly. So no need for panic. Everything feels like it's on an upward curve, certainly, with Forest. Just hope these Brazilian lad deals go through. But we'll discuss this more on Monday in the company of, I think it's Mikey and one of the other guys will join me for that, and I'll possibly see about getting one of the ex-pros like Kelvin on or something like that, if it's feasible. So do join us for that on Monday morning. Just before we go, a reminder, Saturday the 28th, that's next Saturday, the Festival Love at the NAV, Sainsbury's Festival Love 5th birthday bash, Alex P headlining. Get your tickets from gigantic.com. Other acts on the bill there that you can see if you're watching on YouTube. And also can't let you go without reminding you that we've got our live show coming up. That is Friday the 25th of July at the NAV, obviously. So join us for that if you can. Tickets available now on gigantic.com. They're only £5. Myself I'll obviously be there hosting with Kelvin, and Lewis will be on stage along with podcast regulars. I think it's Greg, Mikey, Temps and Pete. Should be a good show. Join us at gigantic.com. Only a £5. We'll raise some money for charity as well, as we always do. So it should be a good show. Right. Thanks for your company today. Do us a favor, hit like, hit subscribe on this video if you haven't already, and give us a lovely review on Apple or Spotify. That'd be great. Consider membership or Patreon. Right. Have a good weekend, everyone. And if we don't see you on Monday, we shall see you soon.